everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Lori and I'm Entre Tejidos Crochet and Lori's Crafty Corner. Today's video is a very much like spring themed video, kind of like a pattern roundup thing, except I didn't do like the legwork of researching these patterns because they were all patterns that I made over the course of March. And as I was looking over them, I saw that they were all or mostly springtime inspired patterns. So consider this as like, you know, an everything I made video meshed or merged with, you know, like a spring pattern roundup thing. Now, all of these patterns will be linked down below. If in the case, I believe 2 patterns that I've tested aren't out yet, but what I'll do for that case, I'll just link the designers so that you can go follow them on their own, like, you know, social media pages, and stay tuned for their release. Now I need to do a little bit of an organization here because March just ended. I just finished the first pattern test for the month of April. I'm also doing a lot of kind of like behind the scenes things with, I am going to organize my yarn again, but more on that in a separate video. The reason that I have to organize my yarn is so that I can use it up better, because I'm on a loose yarn buying spree. I say loose because I do buy yarn, but only if it has like a set project in mind. I don't go on shopping sprees for yarn, even though I really wish I could, but it's mostly because of that. It's like if I'm going to buy yarn, the yarn already has like a set project for it, and like that way it'll help me work through my stash, because it looks like I have a lot, but I've noticed in the last couple of pattern tests that I finished, I don't have a lot of like the same type of yarn. So you know that I love using Parfait Chunky. I was looking for, here's the sneak peek of one of the pattern tests that I finished for April. So I was trying to find enough yarn to make this basket. This basket has, enjoy my elevator music, and I hope they all fit because they are pretty chunky. Okay, yeah, they fit. Oh my goodness. And the last one, we got to, like, you know, squish and smush all in there. But here we are. Okay, that's the best that I could do. You know, I still need to like fix how they fit there, but this is the idea. It's a buddy system. It's a basket and you have these little cuties, and I had to make them all different tones of like browns or beige because I don't have enough. I didn't have enough. The greens as well. This little cutie has 3 different colors for its leaves. I'm not hating on it. I actually love how it looks. It was because, yeah, I have enough green, but when I went to look into my actual stash of green, I didn't have enough. So I am going to organize that. But you know, all this like little tangent piece where all has to do with me organizing and rearranging things here, bringing out everything I made in March. Okay, so I very much just like pushed everything out of the way, and I've placed all the plushies right here out of frame on purpose. But we're going to start with the ones that I don't have here because they have already been gifted away. And for that, I have a lacy farmhouse blanket that I gifted to my soon-to-be-born niece. I made it in 3 colors of Premier Yarns Basics worsted weight yarn. which is currently on 25% off sale throughout the entire month. So Premier Yarns, everything that says Premier Yarns Basics, Basics Chunky, Basics Chenille, oh my goodness, Basics Worsted, everything, even the DK one, and I just don't want to give away too much. But I do have another blanket in the works, and I am going to be using Premier Basics DK. And it's a thinner 3-weight yarn. I'm excited to start using this. But all of their basics line, every single one of their basics yarn lines is 25% off for the entire month. If you're interested in grabbing your very own, basics line of yarn, consider using my affiliate link, which will be in the description box. It's at no extra cost to you. It just gives me a little bit of a commission. After I made that blanket, which, as I mentioned, I made it in Premier Yarns Basics Worsted in crepe, thistle, and light mauve, if I'm not mistaken. I also made, and this is the other, kind of seems like an honorable mention, but I made the Mama Made Minis bunny that you can find in their book. I don't recall the name. I think it's Rye the Rabbit, if I'm not mistaken. And I used I used Bernat blanket for that. Since it's for a baby, I embroidered the eyes. And I'll include a little picture here of the blanket with the lovey, and I just love how it paired up so amazing. Since we're on the topic of like honorable mentions and we talked about blankets, let me pull out the biggest make I made in March. And for this, in order for you to be able to see the entire thing, I'll just, put up here like pictures of it. I'll share the reel that I shared, or actually reels that I've shared, because this is massive. I even had to get a step ladder to try and get the whole thing on frame. And I'm not too tall, but I'm not short. I'm 5'6", so it's kind of average. So the fact that I had to go and grab a step ladder says a lot. Here is the Nanny's quilt blanket I made in an extra large size. It measures a total of 80, if I'm not mistaken, 80 by 80. It's big enough for me to stretch out on my king-sized bed, which was the entire goal for it. I was also able to use quite a bit of my Basics Chunky stash, which is on sale, for this, and I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. I have 2 videos talking all about it, so if you haven't watched those, they'll be linked down below or in the cards up here. I highly recommend the pattern. But this was one of the bigger makes in March. Compared to this blanket, the rest are kind of like, oh, she made a bunch of small makes. But in terms of plushies, I did quite a bit of the bigger makes. So, springtime, I think about birds, I think about bunnies, mostly bunnies, and that's a lot of the things that I made. I also think about like farm animals for some reason. I think just like the whole, farm animal thing is very spring-ish. So for that, I tested out Millie Makes Magic's Snugglers. These, oh my goodness, these are too adorable. They're so tiny. And the fact that you only stuff the heads, everything else is like as is. It's adorable. So I got to test the horse, which is this one, and the cow, the little bitty cow. I used 16mm eyes by 3J's Handcrafts, and just look at them. I'm supposed to test out the pig because it's a blanket. It's a snuggler pack. So you have a lion, a tiger, I believe a bear. You have the horse, a zebra, the cow, a hippo. So you have farm animals mixed in with some wild animals. And she was going to add the pig to it. She just hasn't been able to. And I just can't wait to make that one because just look at these. These are just like beyond adorable. Just like, you know, you can put these into your purse and like they don't take up any space. So check out the pattern. I highly recommend these. I made these in a couple of hours, and I was testing out the pattern. Along the lines with farm animals, I tested out Bunny Hop Crochet's duck. I think it's Puddles the Duck and Friends pattern. It's and Friends because you can make the little rooster, or you can make the mallard or a penguin, if I'm not mistaken, using the same exact pattern. These two do work up quite fast as well. And just look at this little ducky. In the pattern as well, you can make two different flowers. So look at that. Tell me that doesn't look like spring, because it does. So you can make like a regular daisy, or you can make a sunflower. And just look at how they look cute. They look so cute together. Look at this amazing and cute bunny. This is Harlow the bunny. The pattern is by 3J's Handcrafts. And look at that. Oh my goodness. So many fluffies, but hey, it comes with the territory, right? So in the pattern, you get everything that you see here, you know, all the instructions to make everything, including this flower bow. I did not make the headband because I wanted to make it more into like a bow. You do get the pattern to make this carrot as well, which, you know, you can sew it on here. Or if you want, you can sew a little patch of Velcro here, and then it can just like, it can be very interactive. In fact, the whole idea with having a headband with the flower on it is so that you can take it off and play with it. The overalls are crocheted separately and you can take them off or add them, you know, it's kind of like playing dress up. So it's very much a pattern where you are inspired to make it very interactive. Look at that sass. She's so very sassy. When I think of, oh my goodness. When I think of farms, I also think about mice and cats. And I was able to, even though it's a bit more on the fantasy side, I did test out Woolly Tunes' newest little cat pattern. Or little moon cat pattern. It's the cat is inspired by Sailor Moon's cat, and she has a pattern for the larger one, and this was an incredibly fast make. I don't know, I think it's the colors, or maybe how I sewed the ears on. I really don't know. But she reminds me more of a mouse than a cat, but it's a cat. She's supposed to be a cat. Again, look at those. I've been using felt eyelashes on eyes, and it's just, look at that. So this pattern is by Woolly Tunes, and since we have a cat, we need to have a mouse. And here we have the mouse with its companion, Duggar the mole. These were a pattern test for Poggy's Place. They are part of her new Whimsy pack of animals. They are super fast to make. If you're in, you know, if you have a couple of spring markets coming around the corner, these are amazing to make because, you know, they're very squishy, they're very small. I've seen a lot of people do like mystery boxes where they make a bunch of different critters, they put them in these boxes, and, you know, guessing and trying to find out which little critter you got is part of the whole thing. So check those out. I just can't stop squishing them. The mole is supposed to be wearing a helmet, but I think the fact that I used this pretty purple yarn and I made the light, I don't know, in this yellow, it looks more like a bucket hat with like a flower on at the front. Very springy. So we went from a cat to a mouse to a mole to a bird. This is Tito Chorlito. A chorlito is how we say sandpiper in Puerto Rico. Very much in tune with like a little sandpiper. This is Tito. It's my very own pattern. At the time that I'm releasing this video, he will be free if you are joining the Animal Alphabet Crochet Along. I'll link the account down below. It's a crochet along where we are making an animal for each letter of the alphabet. And trust me when I say there are a lot of cute items in the schedule. And yours truly designed a pattern for it, which was Tito Chorlito. I kind of went crazy with my own pattern because after I made this, he is made in Naughty Ball yarn from Kyla's Crafts. So after I made him. This is Lion Brand's Feels Like Bliss yarn, double-stranded. Look at that, so fluffy. After that, I made it in Bernat Blanket, and after that in Naughty Ball Deluxe with, this is Lomere Yarns, which is now discontinued. Naughty Ball, the normal one, the normal sized one, and then look at this. Look at the size difference about this pattern. It's a very fun and quick market make. The only thing you need to sew on are the wings. I'm pretty sure that after you've made the body, you know, making the wings is like a walk in the park. And then I did add, because even though chorlitos, you know, sandpipers, they're very much like streamlined. Well, technically their tail isn't supposed to look like that, but in like the whole idea of making it into like a market prep pattern, springtime pattern, I just added the little tail to it. But here is Tito Chorlito. I love how big this one is. The eyes are by Stitched by D. I'll link her shop down below. She makes these very unique safety eyes. They have, I believe those are grapefruits, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually used the color of these eyes to inspire the rest of the body. So that's an idea. If you're stuck on what colors to use, look at your safety eyes, what colors you have, and just let them, you know, inspire you. So we have 4 Tito Chorlitos. And then after, you know, when we talk about birds, can we also talk about turtles? We should. Because I made this absolutely amazing lovey. It's a turtle lovey. The body is unstuffed, but the shell is stuffed. And the way that Hooked with Love designed this pattern, you know, it's genius. So check out the pattern. It's geared towards market makes as well. So check out her pattern. It's a really fast make after you make the head. Oh, and I should say that I made the standing turtle, but you can definitely make the walking turtle or like laying down turtle where the eyes are up here. And you can also get the pattern for the rabbit because she made this really cute reel of the turtle and the hare racing together. So that was kind of like her inspiration. She also has a recent snuggler. I don't know if it's out yet. If it is, I'll link it down below. But it's a caterpillar snuggler. How cute is that? She has a lot of other patterns that are snuggler related and very, very market prep friendly. So check out Lauren from Hooked with Love 23 pattern. And these two are kind of the bigger patterns. They are more like the size of the bunny. I made Sailor Moon, like the OG Sailor Moon, and I love her so much. So much. Just look at that. Just look at her. Again, the eyelashes. I love those. I love those. So the pattern is by Woolly Tunes, and the other pattern I tested that was also by Woolly Tunes is, I just realized I made 3 Woolly Tunes patterns in March. And why am I amazed at that? It's because her patterns, they look simple, they are simple, but they do take a lot of time because of all the little details that they have. So the other pattern test that I made for Woolly Tunes was this mandrake. And I have Sailor Moon with the little cat. And I have Harry Potter right over here with his mandrake. For him, I used Acorn and Goblin, which are the new Parfait Chunky colors. I love those colors a lot. This green, it's like chef's kiss. So let me move these and show you the very first pattern test that I finished in March. So even though this is the last pattern that I am going to show you, it's not the least one. I love it. If you're in the business, well, not business, but if you want to make some crochet food, Tito the Tamal is the way to go. I had a bunch of fun making him. I was able to finish him and the cow and horse snugglers in a day. It's very gratifying to be able to finish 3 full plushies in a day. It's amazing. So the pattern is by the Mamacita Stitches. That's the name. Mamacita Stitches named it Tito Tamal for like the alliteration. That's the end of today's video. You know, if you've been seeing my reels or my shorts here on YouTube for a while, you've probably seen that I've shared like this empty jar reel and then afterwards. I'll link it up here, what I'm talking about, because I used to save yarn labels whenever I was done with the yarn skein to kind of tally up how much yarn I used that month. But when I switched over to caking up my yarn, most of those labels were out, and I just kind of stopped saving the labels. I found another way. This is a glass jar, and every time I finish something, I add the scraps of yarn here. It doesn't look like a lot, but I was able to fill up this glass because everything is packed in at the bottom. And let me try and like twist it over. Look at all those smushed yarn scraps at the bottom. So that's one way I'm kind of like tallying up. Also, since I can tell I've been using up my yarn, A, because I've been making things, B, because I see it here, you know, there's less and less yarn, and C, because I have a jar like this at the end of every month. since we just started April, I need to find a plushie to add all of these scraps into, and then start storing in all of the scraps for the month of April. Well, that's gonna do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you back soon with another video. And if you like today's video, be sure to subscribe, like, comment, you know the drill. And I'll see you back soon.